Making headlines, President Dr. Muizu announces plans to transform the Muliage vehicle garage on Liliumagu into the Zuwanungge third space. First Lady Sajda Mohammed urges to proactively implement the policies rather than being hesitant. And a Minister of Finance voices concerns that inadequate financial allocations for development projects could lead to significant delays and hinder long-term progress. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Udma Mahmoud. Looking into the details, President Dr. Mohamed Muizu has announced plans to transform the Muliage vehicle garage on Liliumagu into the Zuwanungge third space, a dedicated centre aimed at addressing the shortage of venues for youth activities. The initiative seeks to empower young people, foster skill development and strengthen community connections. The decision made during a cabinet meeting follows recommendations from ministers and a proposal by the Minister of Construction and Infrastructure, Dr. Abdullah Muttalib. The project prioritizes safety, given the area's proximity to schools and heavy traffic, with a comprehensive traffic management strategy to be implemented alongside the transformation. The Zuwanungge third space is envisioned as a hub for diverse activities that promote skill building, creative expression and social interaction. Planned activities include boot camps, skill exchange programs, virtual reality training, community art pools, culinary events, and mental health initiatives. It will also host interactive workshops and provide dedicated spaces for promoting well-being. Designed as an eco-friendly space, the center will host a cafeteria serving healthy, locally inspired cuisine, while providing a platform for small and medium enterprises to showcase their products. President Dr. Muizu underscored the importance of such spaces in unlocking the potential of Maldivian youth, fostering personal growth and strengthening community ties. The name Third Space draws from sociological terminology referring to social settings distinct from the home, first place, and the workplace, second place. This new hub aims to provide a welcoming environment for the youth to thrive outside these traditional spaces. First Lady Sajda Mohammed has urged to proactively implement the policies rather than being hesitant. She made the remark at a function today to honor the 52 weeks of work of the staff of Ministry of Health. Speaking on the occasion, First Lady Sajda shed light on the days she worked in the health sector. She highlighted the level of skill and professionalism of those working in the sector and lauded their unwavering dedication to work. The First Lady noted that the individuals employed within the health sector do not work just for the sake of the salary or personal motive. In her address, First Lady Sajda stated that civil servants were responsible to ensure their actions align with the policies regardless of the administration. On this stance, she urged all civil servants to refrain from being hesitant in implementing policies, particularly those related to the health sector. To celebrate the occasion, the longest-serving civil employee at the ministry cut a cake. First Lady Sajda also handed over the badge of thanks to the Ministry of Health civil servants in recognition of their work. Deputy Speaker of Parliament Ahmad Nazim has called for the termination of Asanda agreements that have been structured to benefit specific groups or parties. He made these remarks during the ongoing parliamentary debate on the 2025 state budget. Addressing the debate, Deputy Speaker Nazim highlighted the country's critical economic challenges, noting that the proposed state budget aims to initiate an economic reset. He emphasized that achieving a full reset would require a series of 3 successive budgets. Nazim underscored the need for reforms in the National Health Insurance Scheme, Asanda, as part of a broader effort to restructure state-owned enterprises, SOEs. He revealed that investigations by the Public Accounts Committee had uncovered significant mismanagement with evidence of certain parties misappropriating funds. The Deputy Speaker stated that Asanda is in such a dire state that drastic measures are necessary for reform. He further disclosed that agreements between Asanda and foreign hospitals involve third-party intermediaries, leading to unreasonably high charges from these hospitals. That's it. We'll return after Isha prayer. Stay tuned.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وبعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
ಮಗುಮಚ್ಚೆ ಸವಾಲ್ ಕೊನ್ನುದುನ್ನು ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಫಹು ತಿಜಹುನಿ ಮುಳಿಮೂನುಗ ಬೆಂಡೇಜೋಳಾಕನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ತಹುಗ ನುವದಿಹ ಇನ್ಸೆತ್ತ ಮೀಹು ಮರವನಿ ಬೋಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾನಿ ಆಕ್ಸು ಸ್ಯಾಕಲ್ ದುಬಾರು ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ಒಳ
Once again, welcome back to PSM News in English. Minister of Finance Moses Amir has voiced concerns that inadequate financial allocations for development projects could lead to significant delays and hinder long-term progress. The minister made these remarks during the ongoing parliamentary debate on the State Budget 2025.
Speaking during the debate, Minister Zamir cautioned that spreading the budget thinly across numerous projects without allocating sufficient funds would impede their progress. He warned that this could result in stagnation or minimal advancements due to cash flow constraints. Referencing projects contracted by the previous administration to the Maldives Transport and Contracting Company (MTCC), the minister noted that many initiatives valued at $1.2 billion remain stalled due to a lack of secured financing. He assured that the new budget would prioritize securing the necessary funds to ensure successful project implementation across the nation. Minister Zamir also highlighted the government's commitment to expanding financial services, announcing plans to establish ATMs on all inhabited islands by the end of this year. This initiative aligns with the administration's broader objectives to enhance accessibility and convenience for citizens. In addition, the minister reiterated the government's focus on improving transparency in state-owned enterprises. He stated that merging companies offering similar services could enhance performance and efficiency. Turning to healthcare reforms, Minister Zamir commended the changes made to the National Health Insurance Scheme, ASANDA, which aims to reduce wasteful expenditures. He expressed optimism that these reforms could generate savings of up to $32 million, contributing to the government's broader fiscal objectives. The minister concluded by reaffirming the government's dedication to addressing fiscal challenges and ensuring the effective utilization of resources to drive national development.
The Maldives Zakat House announced that it provided $32,000 as financial assistance for medical treatment during October.
Statistics publicized by the Zakat House shows that Zakat House had spent a total of $34,351 in October. Of this amount, it allocated $64,370 to provide assistance. The data indicated that Zakat funds primarily provided assistance in 4 key areas, including cancer treatment, heart operations, treatment for kidney diseases, brain operations, as well as transplants. It showed that similar to previous months, the Zakat House provided the largest amount for supporting cancer treatment, totaling to $22,570. Meanwhile, $5,224 was spent for treatment of kidney diseases, $2,264 for brain operations, $1,650 for heart operations, and $30,525 was spent for other treatments. The additional expenses incurred by Zakat House were to secure funds for the development of the Waqf buildings and to provide salaries for individuals working to collect Zakat. As such, it had spent a total of $16,389 for the salaries of employees and $5,989 for trips undertaken to other countries. Despite the collection and distribution of zakat being previously done by the Ministry of Islamic Affairs, it is now the responsibility of the Maldives Zakat House. The Zakat House was established with the recommendation of President Dr. Muhammad Muiz and was inaugurated in January 2024.
Ministry of Higher Education, Labour and Skills Development has awarded scholarships to 5 students to pursue higher education in 5 different fields in Malaysia. The scholarships were presented to the students by the Minister of Higher Education, Labour and Skills Development, Dr. Mariam Maria. The scholarships were awarded to 5 students selected through a draw from all participants in the Dalang National Skills and Career Expo 2024. The scholarships were granted in collaboration with Education Malaysia Global Services. Following the lucky draw, the scholarship opportunities were presented in the field of journalism, artificial intelligence, software engineering, marine biotechnology, and digital media. In September, the Maldives signed an agreement with Education Malaysia Global Services to provide 561 scholarship opportunities. Under the agreement, scholarships in 6 fields will be awarded to Maldivian students to study in selected Malaysian institutions, providing them with financial support to achieve their educational goals. As such, students studying in Malaysian universities will be awarded a discount of 70% from their course fees. The Higher Education Ministry revealed that students currently seeking education and those planning to obtain education in Malaysia through loans can also benefit from this opportunity. The Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Maldives Ports Limited (MPL), Mohammad Wajih Ibrahim has announced that the sea-to-air cargo service launched earlier this year is expanding rapidly, having already generated over $3 million for the Maldivian economy.
Combines maritime and air transport, where goods are shipped by sea and then transported by air to various international destinations. This method, widely adopted globally, offers significant economic benefits. MPL introduced this service in March with the first shipment dispatched in May. In a recent social media post, CEO Mohammad Wajih hailed the initiative as a remarkable success. He noted that the sea-to-air cargo service, launched during the first year of the current government, has already made a substantial economic impact. Since operations began, the service has facilitated the transportation of 210 containers amounting to 1,008,000 kilograms of goods to countries such as the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and several European nations. The service has also attracted participation from 11 airlines, with the majority of exports comprising garments produced in Bangladesh. Wajih highlighted the collaborative nature of the initiative, involving Maldives Airports Company Limited (MACL), Maldives Ports Limited, and the Maldives Customs Service. He expressed optimism about the future growth of the industry, emphasizing its potential to deliver lasting economic benefits to the Maldives.
Maldives Meteorological Service Met Office has forecast unfavorable weather conditions over the coming 3 days. In a statement released, the Met Office stated that a low-level circulation has been formed as the Maldives experiences a transition from the rainy season, southwest monsoon, to the hot and dry season, northeast monsoon. As a result, heavy rainfalls were experienced by majority areas of the country within the past 24 hours. According to the Met Office, Hitadu, Adu City recorded the heaviest rainfall with 110 millimeters of rain. It further anticipated unfavorable weather across the nation for the next 3 days, urging all individuals to remain cautious of the weather conditions. The heavy rainfall has led to flooding of roads and households in Mala City, as well as some other islands. Therefore, it is important to take precautionary measures to minimize the loss faced in such situations. French farmers set up a camp as they blocked a road near Paris on Sunday. The prospect of a trade deal between European and Mercosur countries sharpens discontent over foreign competition that fueled a farming crisis earlier this year.
Tractors could be seen blocking the road in Vélizy, Villacoblet under the eye of police as farmers prepared to spend the night on site before leaving the next day. A push by the European Union and South America's Mercosur bloc to conclude long-running trade negotiations by the end of the year has rekindled anger in France at cheaper agricultural imports not subject to the same standards as domestic produce. Similar frustration was voiced by farmers across Europe last winter after a surge in imports from Ukraine following Russia's invasion. The mood in France, however, has soured further after harvests were hard hit by rain, disease broke out amongst the livestock, and a snap election that delayed measures promised to defuse the previous protests, which saw farmers block highways for weeks. The head of France's main farmers' union told BFM TV as farms face cheaper imports, burdensome regulations, and merged income, a Mercosur deal represented a bitter cherry on the cake farmers do not want. He said that by his calculations, tens of thousands of farms are in financial trouble, and only about a third of measures announced by the previous administration have been implemented.
UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called on G20 members to use their power of leverage to tackle key global issues such as climate and peace.
During a press conference in Rio de Janeiro on Sunday, Guterres told journalists 2024 was well on the way to break heat records days after leaving the COP29 meeting in Baku.
The climate crisis has burned through another record, with 2024 likely to be the hottest year in history. We see the impacts everywhere and look no further than the drought in the Amazon and horrible floods in southern Brazil.
He also emphasized the need for peace in Gaza, Ukraine and Sudan values.
Peace in Gaza, with an immediate ceasefire, the immediate release of all hostages, and the beginning of an irreversible process towards a two-state solution. Peace in Lebanon, with a ceasefire and meaningful steps towards implementing Security Council resolutions in full. Peace in Ukraine, by following the UN Charter, UN resolutions, and international law. Peace in Sudan, by leaders leaning on the warring parties to end the horrific violence and desperate humanitarian crisis being unleashed on civilians. Everywhere, peace requires actions grounded in the values of the UN Charter, the rule of law, and the principles of sovereignty, political independence, and territorial integrity of states.
G20 countries account for 85% of the world's economy and are the largest contributors to multilateral development banks helping to steer climate finance. They are also responsible for more than 3/4 of greenhouse gas emissions worldwide. Reaching agreement may only get tougher with the return to power of US President-elect Donald Trump, who is reportedly preparing to again pull the United States out of the Paris Climate Accord. Trump is also planning to roll back landmark climate legislation passed by outgoing President Joe Biden, who visited the Amazon rainforest when he made a stop there on Sunday on his way to Rio. UN climate chief Simon Steele wrote a letter to G20 leaders on Saturday, imploring them to act on climate finance, including boosting grants for developing nations and advancing reforms of multilateral development banks. However, the same fights that have plagued COP2019 since it began last week are spilling over into G20 negotiations, according to diplomats close to the Rio talks.
Newly crowned MotoGP champion George Martin added his first plaque to the Tower of Champions trophy at the season-ending awards gala on Sunday evening.
Earlier, the Pramac racing rider finished third in the Solidarity Grand Prix of Barcelona, which was won by his title rival Francesco Bagnaia of Ducati.
Yeah, so today I think 7 laps to go was the point. Oh, sorry. No, was the point when I started to realize, I started thinking about my family. Like my career was coming through my lens. I could see my dad, my mom. When I was so young, and I started to think too much, but then I refocused and I said, okay, Jorge, you need to finish the job, so it's not over till it's over, so let's try to finish the race.
Martin led by 19 points heading into the final race of the season, and the Spaniard needed to finish in the top 9 to clinch the title if pole-sitter and two-time champion Bagnaia won the race. Bagnaia had done everything to close the gap in the title race with an 11th win of the season, but Martin's 32 podiums across sprints and races earned him the title by 10 points.
You know, it's fantastic to finally be able to unveil the new artwork, and it's much more than just a logo. I think that what we've done, you know, the words we've chosen, the shapes, the colors, we're hugely proud of what MotoGP is and to be able to work here. And we can't wait to start 2025 as soon as possible.
The award ceremony also saw the sport usher in the brand new identity for the 2025 season, revealing a fresh black and white MotoGP logo that will go in hand with the catchphrase "Faster, Forward, Fearless."
India's capital, New Delhi, switched schools to online classes Monday until further notice as worsening toxic smoke surged past 60 times the World Health Organization's recommended daily maximum.
Various piecemeal government initiatives have failed to measurably address the problem, with the smoke blamed for thousands of premature deaths each year and particularly impacting the health of children and the elderly. According to IQ Air pollution monitors, Levels of PM 2.5 pollutants, dangerous cancer-causing microparticles that enter the bloodstream through the lungs, peaked at 907 micrograms per cubic meter on Monday morning, with a reading above 15 in a 24-hour period considered unhealthy by the WHO. Individual monitoring stations noted that even higher levels, one recorded PM 2.5 pollutants at 980, 65 times the WHO maximum. Dense grey and acrid smoke smothered the city, with IQAir listing conditions as hazardous. The city is blanketed in poisonous smoke each year, primarily blamed on stubble burning by farmers in neighboring regions to clear their fields for plowing, as well as factories and traffic fumes. Primary schools were ordered to cease in-person classes on Thursday, with a raft of further restrictions imposed on Monday, including limiting diesel-powered trucks and construction. The curbs were put in place by city authorities in an effort to prevent further deterioration of the air quality. Authorities hope by keeping children at home, traffic will be reduced. New Delhi and the surrounding metropolitan area, home to more than 30 million people, consistently tops world rankings for air pollution in winter. India's Supreme Court last month ruled that clean air was a fundamental human right, ordering both the central government and state-level authorities to take action. It is meeting again today to discuss the lack of progress on the health crisis.
That's it for now. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant day ahead. Bye-bye.
दिवे कौमियत नोता दिए ही नेशनल आइडेंटिटी को बात हकीकतुगा मी तियबे फुलुंगे मुहिम सवाल का वेदान सबकी कोम में गांव में गास एगो मक खास वकी कौमियत उन्नाती आदि बाय बावत कौमियत दिवहिंगे हकीकत का फुशवराती दुनिया के बाय गौमतोगा उन्ना कौमियत इस्लाम दीना वेस खिलाफाती कौमियत के तारफ का बला लाइरो मफहूम के दर्जा का दिवे कौमियत तारफ देनमा